Tim Tebow is still in single A playing with the St. Lucie Mets. Right now he's hitting .248 with 5 homers. Tebow's former coach, Urban Meyer, was asked about his baseball career and said, when I first heard he was trying baseball, I did question it. I know how hard it is. You can't just tough your way through baseball. There's a skill set. Football is different. There are going to be critics out there who say that this is bad for baseball. Go explain it to me again. Why is it bad for baseball? Explain that to me. Will he make it? You need to give me the definition of making it. If it's a Hall of Famer, if it's a Major League Baseball, if it's AAA baseball. I played it in the minors. It's really, really hard. I think he's already made it in some ways. Skip, do you agree with Urban?
Obviously, Mr. Sharp, I agree with Urban Meyer. But he made some profound points, and I thought he cut to the heart of what I've long believed about Tim Tebow. That is that the world is divided between people who really love and believe in Tim Tebow, and there are a lot of those,
yes,
and a whole nother huge segment of the population who despise everything Tim Tebow, everything about him. He just rubs those people the wrong way, and the twain shall never meet. You're mostly on the other side. I've been on the believer side in Tim Tebow. And Urban's first point was that he's just a guy that you learn not to bet against. And obviously, Urban loves him in part because he and Tim won 2 national championships together at Florida. And I do think he just likes him as a human being.
Yeah.
But he went on to say, when Tim puts his laser focus on something, he's going to do it. No amount of time, no amount of injury, no amount of pain is going to get in the way of that. His greatest gift is his toughness, and he means both his physical and his mental toughness. Then Urban goes on to say that there's nothing phony about Tim Tebow, and that's what I've said from the start. You can despise his religion, evangelical Christians, whatever, that's fine, that's your right. His kneeling, Tebowing, wearing his religion on his sleeve. If you want to resent that, hate it, whatever, that's fine. But the point is, it's very real. And Urban says from A to Z, what he's living is real. Because Urban said he spent 8 hours a day around him every day for those, 4 years. And I've been around him enough to know, not 8 hours a day, but enough to know he's legit, man. He walks his talk.
Right.
And then he talks about Tebow's critics, and he says, sometimes I look at the critics and I wonder what the real issue is here, because I do too. I'm not sure what's not to like about him. And then he gets to this definition of making it in baseball. Has he made it? What does it mean? Does it mean, do you make it if you get to the Hall of Fame, or get to the major leagues, or get to AAA, says Urban, or just do what he's been doing so far in not even a full season yet in the minor leagues, class low A and then high A ball. And I'm with him because Urban played minor league baseball back in '82 and '83, and as he said, it is really hard. So just the mere fact that he had the guts, as I told you from the start, to try to go do something professionally that he didn't even play amateurly since his junior year in high school. 12 years passed and he'd never picked up, I don't know, he probably swung a bat somewhere in some batting practice or home run derby. But the point is that what he's done so far, and his numbers have improved at St. Lucie, which is high A ball. They're not great, but they're pretty good. And the point is, he's having the guts to go out there every night and pull off something that I think very few professional athletes could pull off, to leave the NBA or the NFL and go to the sport of baseball if they hadn't played it since high school, and then go compete against these bonus baby kids at low and high A ball, or for that matter, in the fall league. Those kids are on the doorstep of getting to the big leagues, and he was really good. His last sort of month of the fall league, he went 9 for his last 32, which, you know, is a .425 on base percentage. That was really good against top flight pitching. So no one's giving him any credit, or very few are giving him credit for just trying. He's starting over at age 29. But it's hard. Baseball's the hardest game to learn, to figure out.
No. We don't do participation here. You're not in kindergarten. You're not in Head Start. If you come to school every day, you get a perfect attendance. If you do good on the test, you get a star. That ain't what we do here. You're at the professional level. So let me get this right. Urban Meyer said when Tim puts his laser focus on, there's nothing he couldn't accomplish. So he didn't have laser focus, so he couldn't learn how to play the quarterback position better than what he played?
God, he was great in Denver when somebody gave him a real chance to play out of desperation.
So great. So
that was one of the great runs in NFL history. History, seriously.
Skip, you don't get to build a career on a run. You get to build a career on a resume, on a body of work, or a continual.
13 games?
Skip, stop.
Well, then nobody ever gave him a chance. Who gave him a chance after that? Help me out. Where did he get a chance?
This is why. Because, see, the same people that said Tim Tebow never got a chance are applauding Colin Kaepernick for not getting a chance.
Okay, well, don't make it a Kaepernick thing. I get it, because they don't belong in the same sentence.
But, Skip, you can't – I have nothing. I don't – my thing is I don't like or dislike Tim Tebow. I dislike the opportunity that he get presented for some unknown reason.
Okay, you know what? Since you brought up Kaepernick, see, I take it to heart in a different way than you do. Tebow got, quote-unquote, blackballed just the way Kaepernick is for very different reasons, but he got rejected in large part because of his religion. He wore it on his sleeve. He became a distraction because the media, mostly left-wing media, didn't like it. So they're constantly criticizing it, and so it became a distraction for the Jets and for the Eagles and for briefly with the Patriots, to where the NFL says, we don't want that in our locker room. We don't want his presence in our locker room. He's the force of it is too big because the media comes to rip Tim Tebow. We don't want that around. So in large part because of his faith, he got rejected by the National Football League.
Well, see, I look at it differently because I believe Tim Tebow played 11 games and Colin Kaepernick has a larger body of work.
Well, sure. I got it.
But I believe he's made it. So when you grow up and say, you know what? I just want to play single A. I want to play high A ball. That's it.
Well, he's not finished. He's just getting started. He's not going to stop.
So what does Urban Meyer said he's made it in is he talking about baseball or is he talking about football?
He's talking about a guy who started over at age 29 and is putting up the numbers he is at high A ball. To Urban, that's already making it. That's showing that you belong at high A.
Skip,
he's become a contributor for the St. Lucie Mets.
I get it, Skip. I'm impressed when an 80-year-old or 70-year-old go back to college and they get their degree. This is not impressing me, Skip. It's impressing you, but it's not impressing me. You know why? Because the thing was, normally people don't get an opportunity. If you fail at something professionally, they don't allow you after 10, 11 years of not playing to go ahead and do something else. But he got that opportunity.
Well, you could if you wanted to go try. Yeah. Well, if you'd been a big star in college football and you'd made an incredible run in pro football as a quarterback and you took a team from 1-4 to a division title and won a home playoff game against Ben Roethlisberger, yeah. If then you wanted to go to a baseball camp and they'd say, we'll give you a shot. We'll give you a chance.
You didn't get one. Tim Tebow got that because of it. And look, Skip, he moves the needle. He generates dollars. And in a capitalistic society, in a free market society, that's what people and teams and endorsers and sponsors, that's what they want. He can move the needle. You're not going to get any debate from me on that issue. But to sit here and say, oh, he's made it because he's in high A ball, or he was not successful. He was a first-round draft pick that basically had 1 year in the National Football League. He's a bust. As an NFL player, he's a bust. Yes, he is, Skip.
What about his last 3 games the previous year in Denver? Go look at the numbers and tell me what you see.
So what?
Go check out the comeback against the Houston Texans in the middle of those 3 games. Go look at the opener, his first game ever at Oakland. Go look at it.
But
go tell me what you see.
He played 2 NFL seasons. 2.
Okay, but every time he got a chance, again, out of desperation, the new regime, again, he wasn't drafted by John Elway.
Correct.
The new regime said, let's get this over with. Let's get it out of our hair. And you know the rest of the story. All he did was win and win and win and win. They won the division.
Skip, how do you go to practice and you tell them, let him complete the passes? You tell him, don't break the passes. You're telling the defensive guys, don't do this. Where did they do that at, Skip?
What happened when the lights were brightest in the fourth quarter?
First of all, Skip, you don't get an opportunity to show how good you can do in the lights. If you can't, Skip, he couldn't complete passes in practice. They're telling the defensive players, let the guys catch the football. Pass rushers, do not bat the ball down. Do not get close to him because he's going to take off running. We want him to go through the progression, Skip. Come on now, Skip.
Hey.
Let's be fair with this.
Hey, against my Oklahoma Sooners in the fourth quarter of the
Skip,
national
that's
championship
college.
game, it's not just college, it's the national championship game. He was spectacular throwing the football.
Can I ask you a question, Skip? How many Heisman Trophy quarterbacks are in the Hall of Fame? Roger Staubach?
Yeah, he's a good one.
How many Heisman Trophy quarterbacks won a Super Bowl?
What is it? If you win the Heisman, are you disqualified from playing pro football?
No, I'm just trying to tell you. That's what I'm telling you. You can be the greatest college player and win the Heisman and not be a great pro. So he wasn't a great pro.
Boy,
But you trying to make, he had 11 good games, so that's validates. No, it doesn't validate it.
if you told me it was 2, I'd give it to you. But it was 13 games.
13 games?
Wow.
They played 16.
It's a lot.
Skip.
It's a lot
Skip.
for a team that's just dead in the water,
Skip.
1-4.
Skip. He was a first-round draft pick. As a first-round drafted player, you should be in the Pro Bowl by your 3rd year. By his 3rd year, he was out of the league. How is that success?
The Broncos rejected him because suddenly who fell into their lap? Out of heaven above.
Okay, the Jets
Peyton Manning.
Okay,
I'll give you that one. I'll take Peyton Manning over
the Jets
Tim Tebow.
rejected him. Why?
Okay, they lied to him. Ask him. Ask him if they didn't lie to him. They never gave him one chance to play quarterback.
The Patriots rejected him.
No,
now,
the Eagles. The Eagles next.
Hold on. The Eagles.
Yeah.
Now, here's an offense.
And by the way, I thought he played pretty well for the Eagles in the preseason. I was shocked.
I was on your old show, and I told you he would make it. But they rejected him. Chip Kelly ran the offense that he ran in college and said that instead of signing Tebow, he would have signed someone off the street. That's neither here nor there. The Patriots, the offensive coordinator at the Patriots, drafted Tim Tebow, traded a first-round pick the next year to select Tim Tebow. They said no.
Too big a distraction. The media flock to Foxborough in ways they don't ever flock to Foxborough, even for the champion. You know it, and I know it.
Skip, you can't continuously make excuses for him. It's okay.
I'm not making excuses. I don't have to make excuses for what he did when he was the starting quarterback.
2 things can be true. You can be not a good football player and a very good person. You can be a very bad person and a very good football player.
How do you win games if you're a bad football player?
So
you can't win if you have a bad quarterback.
Games.
He did not.
He didn't win no games, so he's over.
He had a hard time.
So
right away.
Did Mark Sanchez win any games? Did Ryan Fitzpatrick? Has Brian Hoyer?
Mark Sanchez is pretty good. You know it, and I know it. He's pretty good. He played really well in those playoff games for Jets.
Yeah, that was his first 2 years.
The Denver Broncos were 1-4. Think about that, 1-4.
You would think you'd have a little more love for him, Mr. Broncos.
He saved your bacon that year. He saved it.
You can admit
he turned it around. Who led the league in rushing that year? The Denver Broncos. Why? Because Tim Tebow took over.
I just want to know where they tell their players
Is
to not
Nick
intercept the ball.
Saban overrated? Some college coaches say
Skip
yes.
took this poll.
And we'll debate that next with Joel Klatt.
This is all Skip. This is all.